Hello and welcome to our Minecraft Hardcore World. I'm Doom Mountain and this is episode 16 from this amazing world. Now guys, I am standing over here opposite where our lovely villager inn is that we built up last episode. It is still quite bare on the inside and yes, in a little need of some decorating and all that sort of stuff. Well, not decorating, but trimming up. The vines definitely have taken ownership of this building. But we are standing, and you may have seen the intro, in front of our new well, which I did build up in between episodes, like I said. So we have here just a little bit of a design sort of feature looking thing. So it's actually got the two cauldrons, you can see there. One's collecting water, and then when this one's empty, we can pull it back down, and that vice versa sort of system. So it's like we can get our water from here, but it also means that no villagers can actually fall down there. So we aren't going to have to come and save any of our nitwits that might find their way into the well, which is it's actually that will be very helpful, because I don't want to come back here and be like, where's all my villagers? They're in the well. That's not what we want. So hopefully this will prevent that. Now what you may also be able to see up over here in the distance, well, not that far distance, is a brand new house, which for the longest time was just a pile of cobblestones sitting over here. And once I was sort of finished off with the well, I was a bit inspired to just build up another sort of makeshift house. As you can see, there's no interior. It's probably just going to be like a one man or one villager sort of home hut thing. And then we just went around and decorated a little bit of the outside. We do need to come back through and add more lanterns in these sections here along the fences to sort of give it a bit more, I don't know, it's got sort of a bit more of a grander sort of feel to it if it's got the lanterns, like you can see down there by our pumpkins and our field. It looks more proper with the lanterns rather than just having this torch spam everywhere. So we are working on it, it's just I didn't have enough lanterns at the time. I also like my makeshift copper lightning rod, so if anything should strike around, it's going to hit this bit of bamboo. So yeah, I like a little bit of feature. Now, there's also one more thing that we spoke about last episode, which I did do, and that was heading out and doing a live stream where we were going to decorate and complete, I could show you on our map, all of our nice little area down along the riverbeds. Now, as you can see, it used to be like this sort of top island here where it was all bare and sort of really nothing too interesting, but over on the live stream we managed to make this look really cool. So let me just walk down to where our docks will eventually be. No, it's not going to be this episode. I did not get enough oak. Yeah, we're getting close, but I just do not have enough oak yet. But we will be heading over and just checking out our nice riverbed. Riverbank. Damn it. Alright guys, now that we're over in a boat, you can see that this is where we had our previous sort of terraforming along the river bank. Yeah, it's going to be the bank, it's not the bed. Along the river bank. And now you can see that I managed to nicely, really caress the whole mountain side, getting it looking absolutely perfect. With all the decoration over here, we've even got a nice sharp cliff sort of edge where you can see the rock breaking through. And for that we've gone through with a mixture of stone, cobblestone, some granite, as well as some tough blocks to sort of show a little bit more of like that bit of a grittier, sort of darker tinge to the grey, which I really like how it popped up. Now, yes, as you can see, this is sort of where the border stops between the, the library, the intelligence sort of village of peace, whatever it's going to be called, and we've sort of got natural lands kicking back over here. So we still need to plant a few more trees, but other than that, this area here is really cool, guys, and I'm super proud of it. So yeah, I hope you guys sort of like this little bit of detail here, but I thought I'd better show it off before we just sort of glaze over it and go into the next segment. Alright, let's catch you over there. Alright guys, so I believe that we have pretty well caught up what's happened in between last episode and this one, and now I think it's time that we reveal what we will be doing in today's episode. Now, for those of you who watched all the way through to the end of last one, you're probably going to know because I did say it at the end of it, but I have now actually continued the path on properly to where our mason area or our mine shaft for this section is going to be. Now, as you can see, I've decorated the little pathway and actually properly connected it this time all the way over to where the beginning of our village build that we started with. And as you can see, yes, I've continued on the same sort of stair pattern as we used for over coming through the entranceway, as well as keeping it basically the same theme all along here. So now, as you can see, we've come up to our pathway where we will be putting in our stonemasons area. Now, I believe that this section, I want to just sort of really carve it all out. Have it as this be the ground level. So we're going to flatten everything out into this part and then sort of go back, I think, all the way up to that wall. But we've got a nice clean out area here where we can sort of put a few chests to store some blocks, but also have some of them on display so that you can see what these guys are working with. And then once we've sort of cleared out around here, I'm thinking that down here looks like a nice place to start our mine shaft and sort of start digging down. So I think what I might do now, guys, is I'm going to completely and utterly clear out this whole area here and then sort of just mark it out with everything nice and sort of smoother than what it is now, and then we'll set up and build up our little mine shaft heading down here. And then I think, yeah, that should be pretty nice to start off with. So guys, I will see you in a moment. Alright guys, so a little time has passed now and we have managed to clear out a nice section of this little cave. Now I think what we're going to use, because we've only sort of got this one sort of block thick layer above us that sort of makes up the ground, well, for above us and sort of shaping the hillside there, I think what we might do is sort of like making an interior cave inside of it. So we're going to come along with a bit of the cobblestone wall varieties, stairs and half slabs, as well as an andesite stone and a few other sort of blocks there to really make a nice sort of cavey feel within inside this walls. So I think by the detail that we've got now, the waviness of it, that's a word, that's going to be one now. I think we might use that to actually work in our favour to really shape off this cave. So for now, I think this is a nice sort of rough shape that we're going to use. We've got a section over here so we can store everything, as well as a few spots over here where we might be able to put in a furnace or something that we might be working on, or something to be able to harden up the stone, to be able to make different minerals, or to be able to smelt any ores that they collect up while digging. And that said, you can see over here that I'm sort of making up my little bit of a mine shaft entrance down here. I think that this area though, we might just cover it up along, whoop, if I can grab that one there, we'll just cover it up along here so that way it sort of has a nice 3 sort of wide stairwell. So that way we can have stairs going either side, but we can also run a minecart track down the center of it. So that way we can have little dock stations where, we can either put in materials to be shot back up here to be hidden away in storage, or we could have some furnaces running along the track so that when they get down to a certain spot we can just top them up with more goodies that we need smelted, something that just helps add in with the lore of this area. But I think so this way down here will lead into our mine shaft, where over here will be more of the storage and probably workshop space in this section. Now what we need to do is obviously empty up our inventory, because we finally have a nice large quantity amount of dirt, which is beautiful. I'm always running out of it, so it's good to have a bit more. But for now, let's empty out our inventory, and I think we need to go up and collect a bit more of our stone variety. So I'll do that, and then yeah, let's head on back into the cave. Alright, so for the moment, we're just going to purely focus on decorating this first interior cave because, well, it's going to be the main sort of showpiece of this. The mine shaft, yeah, okay, it'll go down a little bit, but let's be honest, this is the village's sort of decorated sort of area, so it's not really going to be a whole proper mine shaft. So this is going to be really the big sort of chunk of it. And so what I think we might be doing, well, what we will do nicely, is just go around and just start sort of layering some of these blocks all the way around. Now, I know that it's sort of going to cut us in a little bit with our sort of height, but not our height, our space within here, but I think it's going to work nicely, and it's going to help us just be able to keep it a nice and even sort of coat once we go around, including with the roof sections, because, yeah, as you guys can see, we're not really going to be able to get away with replacing any of these sort of blocks with stone or whatnot. So it's just going to be easier to sort of go through with a bit of the cobblestone first. First off, we're going to go with cobblestone, some stone, tuff, some gravel, and some andesite, just as a stone block varieties. And then we're going to come back through and do the little detailing with the stairs, the half slabs, to give it a bit more of a rounded sort of shape and a bit more space sort of filling. Now, I think for this area too, what might be cool is if we come back and add in some actual ores in the wall. So that way it looks like, these guys have found stuff here, and, maybe they just store some of their treasures around the place that's sort of close to them and everything like that. Or, this is just a rich, rich mineral resource area because it's so close to that mountain. I'll get my words right one episode, I swear, just not going to be today. But yeah, guys, so as you can see, we're just going to sort of be going over the top with all of these blocks here. Now, obviously, I'm going to try and have a little bit more of the gritty stuff towards both the bottom and the roof. So sort of where it's darker patches too, I might try and keep it up there and have a little bit more of a darker hidden off sort of spectrum. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'll try it. But yeah, guys, so I'm just going to be doing this now, and then we'll come back in when it's ready to do a bit more shaping to the cave. So I'll see you shortly. I swear, man, yeah, I'll see you shortly as they're getting weirder and longer. No, then, maybe. Yeah. Just think about yourself. Okay, guys, so I'm just bringing you in to sort of show you a little bit more detail of what we've actually done here. So I've got one sort of wall already sort of set up, not a wall, but a corner. So you can see here, we've got all those nice textures sort of really breaking in with the greys and that contrasting between the stone blocks and the andesite, as well as then getting nice and bled through with the gravel and the cobblestone, and then having those darker little, it's not like it's a different, like it's not like it's black, but it's a darker grey words, to sort of give a bit more of like a dirt smudge sort of area. So obviously when we put in like a furnace or something over here, it'll make sense that all the soot and everything's marking the walls of their cave. Obviously, we've still got a long way to go with decorating here, but I thought I'd just show you guys roughly how one of the wall corners are coming up at the moment. So yeah, guys, I'll bring it back in when it's all finished. Alright guys, so I have now completely done the whole boxy decoration around this whole cave area for our mason triplets, and I've also included a little room over here because I'm not making the same mistake that I made for Chris where I forgot to put a bed in his house. So what I've decided is I've just made a little room here where our triplets can sort of sleep and hang out. Now, if you're wondering why I'm saying triplets, well, we have 3 stone masons, so I've just been calling them the mason triplets because I don't have a name for them. So, if you guys have any ideas for any name suggestions for them, please feel free to leave them in the comments because I love naming characters after, the viewers sort of thing. It's a little fun thing to have in the world. But now that we've decorated all of this area here, we've started up with a basic mine shaft idea. So we're going to come down here for our storage, and then we'll just sort of go down to, I think, a fake wall, because as I said before, these are just a villager sort of mines. It doesn't actually need to be a proper mine shaft. So yeah, we'll work on that in a little bit, but I want to start off in this area up here, which you can kind of see, and as I said, is going to be the main bulk of the area in this build. Now, I'm up to wanting you to, I want to first off use the half slabs, and I want to actually put some of them in the floor because, as you can see here, we need just a little bit of extra lighting, and because we're on bedrock, we can just chuck in a half slab and we get ourselves a nice, well lit up area just from some hidden lighting. So I'll go through and place in some of these here like so, just in the floor in areas that I think might be just a little bit dark, and then I'm going to go around and just sort of place them along the walls, in the roof, to really just give us a bit more depth. So for example, like I might think over here, okay, it's a little dark, we could get rid of that instead of just covering up the stone. Put a torch there, whack in a half slab over here, we'll need something like that over there, and possibly even hide some lighting in the roof. So like I might, went too far there, chuck in the torch over here, and then just go a little half slab there, and then as you can see we have some nice sort of starting to take a bit more shape. And as you can see in my inventory I have stairs and walls, so whoop, I overshot my camera. So we're going to be going through and doing a lot of decorating to sort of really shape this area up. But just for now, I want to go through and just sort of do the half slabs and then sort of just take it in turns. It's a bit easier then to manage which layer of texturing you've done if you do it in sort of small stages. So yeah, I'll bring you back when we're into the next one, which will be the stairs. Alright guys, so now that we have placed around a few of the half slabs and given us a little bit more sort of shape and characteristic to this area, I want to now switch these out for our stair varieties and use a bit more sort of rounding off-ish, yeah, I guess that's the word I'm going to use, into some of these sections over here. So for example, we could sort of just give a bit more of a curvature to this sort of walling here. Look like it actually has been sort of carved into the stone, just a little bit more to sort of give a bit more like show a bit more showmanship. Like if these are the masons of this village, like of course their craft would have to be, you know, of some high level, because this is the, you know, the peace and the knowledge and the sort of the history village of this world. So they've got to be good at their craftsmanship to actually be here. So yeah, I think we should just go around and even in like some of these areas here, even just include a bit of hidden lighting like we were doing with our half slabs, and then just sort of have some more stairs in there. Now look at that, it looks like it's all round and a little bit more chipped in because it's not quite all nice and even. We can even add in a few of these up and around these sections over here to really help this whole area just sort of, yeah, it just sort of, I don't know, the best word to sort of say is it starts to come to life a bit more. You start to actually shape the cave and it goes from just being this square higgledy-piggledy to a bit more of a, it looks like this has actually been carved out by hand and people have actually worked hard to achieve this sort of layout. Now over here I want to set up for our furnace. I guess we could just do that now. So I wanted to indent it a little bit and I sort of want to have two of each. So we'll have a furnace to be able to smelt up stone and all that sort of stuff, as well as the blast furnaces to be able to smelt up any ores that we have with much more ease. Now I want to go around and make this a little bit more sort of noticeable. It's kind of, well, it's a staple of this area really. So if we sort of maybe go around here, even chuck in a bit of hidden lighting, because why not? And I think when we get up to the walls, if we include a wall trim around here, that'll really nicely sort of shape the area, I think. Just give it a bit more texture. So I might even just include bits like that to sort of show it's not all the same, just because we didn't texture this section. And then yeah, I think if we include the walls in there when we're up to that section, that will look really, really nice. Now over here's a little dark, so let's just quickly light up this spot. And then once we've got it down here too, I want to start working on our stairwell. Now, if you can remember, I wanted the center line to stay sort of blocked so we can put in a minecart system. So we'd have to now go a long ways like so, all the way down just till we meet our destination at the bottom. Nice, and now that gives us our little run up, and now what we need is to replace all of these ones with some actual like more stonier stones. So you can see now we've got our nice little stairway walking down, and then we'll continue on and put in a little minecart track down this way in a moment. Now we're just working on the stairs, and I'm not really paying too much attention to that spot down there. I just know that the stairwell is what we need to help actually walk this down without bumping our heads on things. So I'm going to have to remove these ones, it's alright. But there, now that's come up nice and really clean, and it's all just coming through, that was a little tongue-tied. It's all just coming nicely through the use of adding in a few more stairs. Now this wall here looks like a great candidate for, like how we were saying, with adding in a bit more of the textured, to sort of break it up a little bit. So where there's areas where it's a little flat, maybe just come in and just throw in some stairs in the wall, and just sort of break it up a little bit, give it more of a, just a bit more of that sort of ingrown and lived environment. Alright guys, now that we have placed in our stairs, it's time to go through with the walls. And as you can see, we've only really got the two types because I don't have any of the mossy cobblestone variety, because we don't actually have stone walls. They become the brick sort of stone walls. So anyway, we don't need that texture here, so we'll just continue on. And one of the main sections which I said I wanted to see this come in was around this. Now, because it's all grey, it sort of does blend in, but you can see that it does have that nice little shaping inwards. And I think what we might do for these corner bits is throw in, oh, no, that's gravel, an iron block, like so. Just to really help sort of show that little bit of, this is a more important, more functional area of the build. And it really does help highlight that a bit. One thing that might even look nice there is if let's put these in here, move up that, and I think let's try and make 4 stone buttons. Let's just see, how do they look on that? Oh yeah, see, even those little just button adds in a bit more texture and a bit more depth to this build. I like it. Alright, so let's now just continue on by placing in a few walls, just here and about. You can have them hanging from the roof too to sort of make it look like the what are they called, stalactites? I'm not gonna be able to say it right. I can't say my normal words properly. Alright guys, so as you can see, now we just have the basic sort of build around. I'm going to add in a upside down stair there so we can put in our doorway. We've added in a bit more detail into our rooms, our furnace is all here, and everything is, well, pretty much up to the first sort of stage of just being almost finished. We'll go through and try and change up some of these with some lanterns, and yeah, I think the next step is to start work on here. So, yeah, let me just go grab a few more chests and some extra resources to flesh out this storage area, and we'll be right back. Alright, so now I've collected up a few chests. We're probably going to need more than this, but it gives us a nice idea of how we're going to pretty much just layer these out. I've got to crouch click. No, okay, so we're going to have to probably go through the wall, I think, just to be able to place these nicely, and then we'll just have to replace it. I don't think there's much we can do about that, although, hang on, tick. Maybe we can just go through it with the walls, give it a bit more depth as well. Now I want to have a bit of a light source in the back there, so I'll go like that, and then just put in the wall. Yeah, it looks nice, and then we'll continue on. Now, if we want these ones here to open up, we need to make sure that there is a gap for them to be able to open up. Alright, and then we'll just go through and repeat this. So we've got a nice, I was going to say, why didn't they connect up? A nice amount of storage up here. Alright, perfect. Now, if I go through here like this, where's my cobblestone wall? We can just sort of, I think, build up a nice wall just up in like so. And then when we can, over here, so I can get through, again we'll repeat that. Put in a torch and whack anything. So as you can see, that's what we were doing for one segment. Yeah, I'm going to just probably leave it like that. What I might do is run a trim of half slabs along here so you don't get to see too much up there. So I'm just quickly going to get that finished for the other 3 pods and then bring you all back in. Oh, let me reach it. Yay. Alright guys, so as you can see, it's nothing spectacularly awesome, but it's just a small storage area, which is what it's kind of supposed to be. We have gone through, oh, I missed one section though of the stripping. Gone through, stripped up our spruce logs down here, placed in our 4 pods of chests. I went through with the half slabs as you can see, and it's also given it a bit more of a little lip, which we can sort of hide in a bit more lighting, as well as sort of just have a bit more of a edge around this sort of area, which sort of shows in a bit more of that stone mason sort of workmanship that we're trying to portray in this area. Again, it's not somewhere that's going to look awesome, which we're not going to be here all the time, so that kind of is justifiable of why it's not the most amazing thing. I've still got to continue on this section down here, but I think what I might do is just make like a black false wall out of, concrete powder, black concrete powder. So that way it looks like, the cartoons, how like the Roadrunner sort of thing, it's just got painted in hole in the wall. Yeah, it's just going to look like that. And then our minecart can just sort of bounce down there and then just come up here, and then we can push it down. It just has some sort of moving element in there. But for now, I think this is pretty good. If we head on up though to the top, I've got to now just go through and strip all of these beams to match the others. We've got to now go up and collect ourselves some lanterns, which I'm hoping shouldn't be too much of a difficult chore. It's a big hope on that. Guys, it's taken me like 4 takes to be able to get this. What I want to say is I'm going to finish off stripping around all of the spruce beams that we have in this area. I can't place any beds in here, so I might go around and just put in a few chests to decorate some areas. We've got to put in a few chests and barrels around here, so maybe some workstations, add in a few lanterns if we can get them, maybe chuck in some vines. I'm not too sure. I don't really want this to be a very viney overgrown cave. It's more of a mining cave. So with that said, we've got to go put in some ores in the wall and then just sort of add in our minecart rail system down here, as well as black wall this section here to do like the kind of Roadrunner-y sort of effect. Now, I've also got to actually finish this outside shell, which I think I might sort of just do like a typical sort of, almost like a T or H sort of shape to sort of show that this is just maybe like the entrance of a mine shaft. But yeah, guys, I'm going to get all of that finished up now, quickly off camera, because you guys don't need to see all of that boring ass sort of stuff. And then when we come back in, this should all be finished. So, guys, I will see you shortly. Alright guys, so a bit of time has passed now, and I have managed to finish off our Mason triplets cave sort of area thing. Wouldn't be a build here if it didn't have area thing at the end of it, now would it? But I am actually really happy with how this turned up. Like, it was looking quite plain at the start, like it was just the T sort of shape at the outside that I was talking about building, or H. Yeah, H. Yeah, I don't know my letters. Anyway, so I decided to add 2 custom trees and just do off a little bit of like, the floral work around it. And guys, honestly, I am not too bad with how this has turned up. So we have custom tree number 1 over there and custom tree number 2 over here. One of the things that I'm really loving to do now, adding into our custom trees, is a bit of the mangrove leaf, and then you can bone meal it and get the propagules to sort of grow down. It looks like the trees are starting to have some fruit growing off of them, and we've placed those around the village in a few different spots here and there, and I just kind of like adding it in. As you can see though, we have also added in the lanterns, which I must say makes a huge difference when looking around. It looks so much cleaner compared to like that area up there where it's just still the torches. Yeah, the lanterns really just tie this in nicely. But guys, I think it's time that we check out the finished mine shaft area thing. Yeah! Alright, so as you can see, this is the kind of H entrance way that I was talking about, and as we make our way through, you can see that I have decorated this area with ore. I have placed in some vines, but I'm going to go around with some string and tidy it up a little bit later on. We have included in our minecart little system, which I'll show you after we've just done a whole tour around the area. We've included some different workstations that sort of work well with what our mining area will be. So it's just working with the stone. We've already got the ores, which I don't know if I've overkilled it a little bit by littering them around the area, but I really like how it looks. We've also got, stonework. So from that, there's going to be, the need of the grindstone and the cutting stone with the ores. Now we've got the smithing stone, so we can actually make tools and everything in this area. So it really helps tie in a nice section of this build. We do have our furnace array, which is still sort of left in the nice sort of, it looks like it's imprinted into the wall, and I really do like how that looks. I know it's all greyish and it might not come out as well on YouTube, but trust me, this looks cool. When the sad day comes and we do perish in our hardcore world and there's the world download, you guys will have to check this out because it looks really, really cool. Now, a standing theme is we've left the bedroom completely bare. However, though, we have used some spruce sort of shelves. I just kind of like how they looked, and it looks really neat all the way along the areas just over here as well as over here to sort of just hold up some items, and yeah, I kind of like how it looks. But before we wrap this all up, let's check out our minecart. So we've got down here where we could put in, whenever we're storing, and we just press our button, it'll head on down there and we can start walking down the stairs. Now, because we've got the powered rails down here in the center stopped, we can now take out our goods and then store them wherever we need to go, and then we turn on the power and we can send it on down the mine. Now, yes, I know it's not the most amazing, yeah, and there's some visual glitches still. I don't know what that is, it's just bedrock. But I know this isn't the most amazing setup down here, but you know what, it really does just work for the bit of telling a bit of story and a little bit of lore. So as I mentioned, when you guys get the world download, you guys can come and explore this area and sort of see that it does all sort of tell a story, which is what I'm trying to actually do in this hardcore world, if you guys haven't worked that out. But guys, that is it for today. I am really happy with the progress that we have made. Like, seriously, this whole little section now looks really, really cool. It was so sort of just bland and plain before. When we added in the path work to lead up to this area, it really did sort of start showing the potential. But like, now that we've got this whole area in here with the custom trees and the pathway that leads us back to our homestead, as well as leading us further on into the village, and I think it just all really nicely ties in with just the whole section here, which is what we're going for. So yeah, no, I'm really, really happy with what we've achieved today. So guys, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you all have enjoyed this bit of an interesting, fun sort of just build and that sort of video, which after doing a whole heap of path work in our previous ones, I'm really glad just to start doing some building. And as you can see, we've got a few little houses to build up, which I can kind of do off camera like I did with that. We have our docks, and then we have the big project. So guys, it's like 2 more episodes, and yeah, we have finished up this village. So God, man, wow, does that mean like in 3 episodes time we're gonna be fighting the dragon? Yes, finally! Oh, alright guys, I am so thankful for everyone who has showed the support and stuck around for this long. So thank you all very, very much, and until next time,